Another 23-17 opens under the gun here. We can do a few things. I'm totally fine with turning ace-jack into a bluff here against slightly wilder players. Calling is also fine, but again, you need to make sure that they have a really wide range pre-flop. If they're just opening something like 15%, ace-jack's going to play quite poorly against them post-flop. So again, a 3-bet bluff with ace-jack would be fine. And occasionally folding ace-jack in that same scenario is fine as well. By the way, I should probably just name this entire video like the ace-jack series, because it seems like there's been, I don't know, 15 or 20 hands of importance with ace-jack, it seems like, towards the end. Now, on this lead here, sorry, let me back it up just a little bit, guys. Xorthiosas ends up leading this flop, which I think is really, really good. First of all, whenever you can do something that's counter to your typical gameplay, I think it's really beneficial to your overall games. Even if you get caught sort of in a bluff here with ace-jack, I think for the future it's going to really make Pratox think a lot about what your value range is here. And additionally, I really think that in poker, players are just so comfortable at this point being the pre-flop raiser, c-betting, double barreling, mixing in some triple bluffs, triple barrel bluffs, things like that. They're just really comfortable encountering guys that check call a lot, or check call the really wide range, or check call the tight range, but they're really just comfortable with this. What we need to do to discourage our opponents is really to make some plays that are quite unorthodox. I've seen a few quickie videos that are really interesting on CardRunners, that in the future I'll be making some on unusual lines as well. But some of the things that I like to do to really throw off my opponents: check raise on really dry boards that they're not expecting me to be check raising on. Donk a wide variation of textures, leading all the way from just complete bluffs with overcards to draws to sets to everything in between, really. Trying to really throw off my opponents. And often what happens is when you sort of use unusual lines is that what results is that the opponents just play really, really straightforward poker. And ultimately, that's really the goal of what we're looking for when we're playing against our opponents. If they can just play exceptionally straightforward poker and we're the ones that are constantly making them guess and putting them in really bad decisions, that's really the ultimate goal. So this is a really nice example. If we hit an ace or a jack, we can feel somewhat confident about getting 3 streets of value. We might sort of tinker with the bet sizing on the river. We might not make it that large on the river if we hit our hand. But at the same time, I think that we can confidently bet another street. I think he's going to call with a lot of really weak hands on the flop that he's going to fold on the turn. So it gives us a really nice opportunity to double barrel on a lot of cards. And finally, I think that this just murders our range here on this 10-9 deuce board. So I think in that regard, it's quite nice as well. Anytime that you can represent what your range is when you have a different sort of range is really going to be beneficial to your overall game. Okay, we isolate here with 8s, really standard hand here. And we should just make note that in the future of these videos, NoDix is going to open every small blind versus big blind, and it has some very interesting results in the future. So we end up checking queen 4-3. Sort of an interesting play here that I don't love. Again, I think that a 57-22, we just almost always need to take advantage of how many hands they're absolutely going to be calling in this scenario. I think he's going to be calling with all of his ace highs. Any 4 or 3 that he might have, any 5s or 6s, he's going to be calling you with 2 streets. He could even call you with a hand like King Jack or Jack 10 potentially. So in this scenario, I think you're just missing a lot of value. And you just don't always need to have a Queen X or better to bet here.